Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakal Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and shalom to the hopeful elect. This is Paya Allah from the GMS London camp, coming at you again with another installment of Daily Bread. It's Matthew the 9th chapter, starting from verse 1 on down. Excuse me. And he entered into a ship and passed over and came into his own city. And behold, they brought to him a man sick of palsy, lying on a bed. And Yahushua, seeing their faith, and said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, be of good cheer, thy sins be forgiven thee. Now, how the Lord saw their faith was the fact, when you read in the other accounts within Mark and Luke, basically that the man being on the bed, they sought to get him through the roof, through the door, many different fashions. That there was a show of great faith in their belief that all they had to do is get this man before Yahushua, this brother before Yahushua, and he would be healed. And Yahushua, seeing them making an effort, in turn led to them being healed of he being healed of his sin. And that's the same, we should reflect on that as well. We should be the same way, man. It's the effort, man. It says a righteous man falleth 7 times, will get a up. Like, we're going to go off, man. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, okay? We're in the flesh, so we're bound to go off. We're bound to go off. But not intent, and even sometimes intentionally do off things, okay? But really, you want to keep that to the minimal, okay? Because if you're just going out there just being crazy, and then Yahushua ain't in you, man. Because if Yahushua is in you, then you'd be as Yahushua was, okay? But the mercy is imparted onto us due to the fact that we are in the flesh, okay? But we have to have faith, and we have to make a committed effort to show that we believe that the Lord has healed us, okay? Verse 3, and behold, certain of the scribes said within themselves, this man blasphemeth. And Yahushua, knowing their faults, said, wherefore think ye evil in your hearts? So that shows you Yahushua had some high level spirit, some top flight spiritual power, man. He read the minds of the scribes and Pharisees and answered them plainly before all. Wherefore think ye evil in your thoughts, in your hearts, sorry. Heart goes back to the Hebrew word lab, which heart means mind, okay? Verse 5, and whether is easier to say thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say arise and walk. And that was a question. But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins. Then saith he to the sick of the palsy, arise, take up thy bed and go into thine house. And he arose and departed to his house. So this man that was ill, was paralyzed. Basically, the same bed he came in on is the same bed he walked out holding, man. Showing you the strength and power of Yahweh Hashem El Shai. And that showed that Yahweh Shai was permitted, that was his, he fully, rightfully so for him to say that his sins are forgiven, because Yahweh Shai forgave that man of his sin, okay? When the multitude saw it, they marveled and glorified Yahweh, which had given such power unto men. And when you read this, account in Luke the 5th chapter, I believe it says how everyone came from Judea, Jerusalem, and round about to witness the power of the Lord before them. And that was speaking of Yahweh Shai, okay? So that's he had a great power when he was here, man. Alright? Verse 9, and as Yahushua passed forth from thence, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom. The receipt of custom, going back to the ancient world, this is during the time Judea was part of the province of Syria, which was underneath the Roman rule, man. Okay, and what they had, one of the main things the Romans when they took over our people that were Judah, Benjamin, and Levi left in that land, they basically put heavy taxes upon them. And the receipt of custom was basically a toll booth, a tax station that'd be positioned like at the gates of a city or the highways and byways, um, any popular place, basically to correct that, for these men to go out there, these publicans, these tax collectors to go out there and basically get what the Romans deemed a tax. All right, and obviously you had people in the midst of that. They were more than likely through the spirit. I believe they were getting a little extra money on the side, man. A little extra money on the side. That's how they were keeping it. So that's why they were highly, you know, looked frowned upon by the nation of Israel, because as well, you know, according to the law, when you come to the temple, you have to pay in a shekel, and the money changers had to change the money of the foreign lands into the shekel, and they you weren't even allowed to put a tax on that, man, like a what's the word I want to use, embargo, a tax. You know, you can't make profit by doing so. So these men doing it for the Romans were looked at like heathens, harlots, the worst sinners. Okay? But this is what Yahushua said to him. And he saith unto him, follow me. And he arose and followed him. And it came to pass, as Yahushua sat at meat in the house, behold, many publicans and sinners came and sat down with him and his disciples. So Matthew, okay, or Levi as he's also called in other books, basically invited people of his circle from his former life, obviously, you know, for them to change their ways as well, man. Okay, showing them the way. Okay, and that's why they sat at meat before Yahushua and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto his disciples, why eateth your master with publicans and sinners? Verse 12. And when Yahushua heard that, he said unto them, they that be whole need not a physician, and they that are sick. Verse 13. But go ye and learn that what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice, for I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. I gotta read this again, man. Okay, it says, they that be whole need not a physician. And those scribes and Pharisees deemed themselves whole. Why? Because they believed that they're even though they weren't doing shit, man, they're keeping of the law, statutes, and commandments. They believed that made them holy, and they were joined unto the Most High. So they didn't, in their mind, they didn't need no mediator to join them back unto Yahushua. They believed that they were whole and clean. But even Isaiah tells you our righteousness is as filthy rags. And the word for rags is a menstruous rag. And if you know anything about when a woman's menstruating, she's meant to be set apart from everything, because she's unclean. Okay, so that shows you how clean how righteous our righteousness is. It's like a woman set apart from the congregation, from the house. Okay, so we ain't got no righteousness. That's why we need Yahushua, and that's why he said this. But they that are sick, yeah, those that are sick need Yahushua. Okay, and that's the faith of the people, the more common people that weren't of the hierarchy, being, you know, the scribes, Pharisees, and whatnot, that believed that they were whole. Okay, but go ye and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice. See, they committed sin. They thought, I can get around it, you know, put my sacrifice up. The Lord forgave me, but it's the mercy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash that allows you to be made clean, basically. For I am not come to call the righteous, but the sinners to repentance. That's right, because why would you, like you said, those that are whole need not a physician. Why would you come and call those that are right, when really it's about getting all the sinners, okay, to come and repent, to turn back onto the Lord, which all of Israel were sinners. Because why? The Lord turned his back on Israel, because Israel turned their back on him, okay, many occasions. So these scribes and Pharisees were going off, man. Wicked scribes and Pharisees were going off. Because that's why Yahushua said, do as they say, but not as they do. Okay? Verse 14, then came to him the disciples of John, saying, why do we and the Pharisees fast oft, but thy disciples fast not? Yahushua said unto him, can the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken from them, and they shall fast. And that's one of the main things for you to remain heavy in the spirit, fast as well as pray, man. That's what Yahweh Shai told Peter when he said, Peter, Satan desired to sift you, man, but I've prayed for thee. And he said, but also he said, this goeth out not without fasting and prayer. So that's one of our key instruments to get this flesh, to overcome the flesh and be at one with the spirit. Verse 16, no man putteth a piece of new cloth onto an old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and a rent is made worse. Okay, that's right. You might get some pair of jeans and you you get a tear right by below the fly, and you take it to the dry cleaners, or and they make an amend. They put a new cloth to it and stitch it up heavy. Lo and behold, a new tear will appear from that actual garment being bound back together. So it's in vain. Okay, you're better off just throwing away those jeans and just going out and buying a new pair. All right. Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out. Okay. And the bottles perish, but they put new wine in new bottles, and both are preserved. That's right, and that's going. These scribes and Pharisees are old bottles, man. They didn't want to accept the new way, which was really the only way, the original way, which was Yahweh Shai, man. John 10 tells you that there's no way. Any man that cometh up some other way is a thief. Okay. So Yahweh Shai is the only way. He's the only entrance, man, to deal with our power, man, our connection to the power. Okay, and that's why when we come into this faith, you come in young, man. You get brothers that come in at the age of 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, maybe even, late 20s or even early 30s. But it was the time appropriate for them to be a new bottle, because they had their bottle was basically empty. They were prepared to be nourished with the real wine, man, the water, being Yahweh Shai. Verse 18, while he spake these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler and worshipped him, saying, my daughter is even now dead, but come and lay thy hand upon her, and she shall live. And Yahweh Shai arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And behold, a woman which was diseased with the issue of blood 12 years came behind him and touched the hem of his garment. Okay, for she said within herself, if I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. But Yahweh Shai turned about, and when he saw her, he said, daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith have made thee whole. Okay, and if you read the other accounts in the other gospel, basically what you understand is that as she touched him, his virtue left him, and she instantly got healed. Showing that, man, the spirit is an amazing thing, man. Lord, she touched him and his virtue went out from him. So that energy that was on Yahweh Shai was a special energy, man, whereby by faith you can access it. And that's the same thing for us. That's why I said, Yahweh Shai said, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, you shall move mountains. Okay, mustard seed being the smallest seed that turns into something so great to where even birds, an abundance of birds, can build nests in there and have their families. But if you see the size of the seed of a mustard seed, it's smaller than a grain of rice. Okay, and that's how your faith is meant to flourish. It's meant to start with very little. Really, the key thing would be the belief in the word and the belief in Yahweh Shai being a so-called black man. That'd be one of the key starting points. That you being the children of Israel, of the children of Israel, those are like the grain of the mustard seed. And then as you grow and you're nourishing this truth, your faith will grow into that big tree, and then you'll be able to tap into that virtue that a woman was able to tap into through your faith. Okay, and be made whole. And a woman was made whole from that hour. And when Yahweh Shai came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise, so the minstrels were the musicians, so you obviously had the people who started bewailing the daughter, man. It was made evident. The man and even in the other account, it says that one of the servants of the household ran onto him and said, "Look, your daughter is dead. Like, just leave this man alone. Your daughter's dead." Showing you the servant lacked faith, but the man of the household, I believe it's Jairus, he was a ruler over the synagogue. He basically had faith, man. He believed, and he basically, that didn't stop him from bringing Yahushua to his house. So he said, verse 24, he said unto them, "Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth." And he laughed him to scorn. And that's the way it was. She was sleeping, man, because it shows you that death is basically sleep. Like that Nas lyric, sleep is a cousin to death, man. It's really the same thing, man. It's just, it's temporal. And they laughed him to scorn, but when the people were put forth, he went in and took her by the hand, and the maid arose, and the fame thereof went abroad into all that land. And when Yahushua had departed thence, two blind men followed him, crying and saying, "Thou son of David, have mercy on us." Okay. And when he was come into the house, the blind men came to him, and Yahushua saith unto them, "Believe ye that I am able to do this?" And it's funny that the Lord said that, because obviously they had faith in him, because they acknowledged who he was, the son of David, according to the prophecy in Psalms, Isaiah 11, about there being a root of Jesse, and about and also a king being set up in the stead of David. Okay, they understood that was speaking of Yahushua. Okay, they knew that was Yahushua, and they believed that. And that's even Psalms as well. The Lord said unto my Lord, "Sit down on the right hand until I make your enemies thy footstool." And King David knew that Yahushua was his Lord. Okay, because King David, through his line, is a father unto Yahushua. That's why they said, "Thou son of David," and him, and why more specifically, as there's many sons in the line of David, but because the prophecy spoke of a specific king coming in the line of King David to be that man, who also, Matthew 1, is King Solomon, the king of the peaceful king, King Shalomar meaning peace, who basically is also Yahushua, who is, the author and finisher of our faith, man, the king of peace, okay, Yerah Shalom. Verse 29, then touched he their eyes, saying, "According to your faith be it unto you." And their eyes were open, and Yahushua straightly charged them, saying, "See that no man know it." But they, when they were departed, spread abroad his fame in all that country. And as they went out, behold, they brought to him a dumb man possessed with a devil. And when the devil was cast out, the dumb spake, and the multitudes marveled, saying, "It was never so seen in Israel." Yahushua was doing great things that were never seen before, and it was in abundance. It wasn't just one healing here and there. It was back to back. It tells you that if all the acts of Yahushua were to be written in one book, the earth couldn't contain that one book. That's how many great acts he done. Okay, but the Pharisees said he casteth out devils through the prince of devils. Okay, which if Satan be divided against Satan, how can his kingdom stand? So you could, if you, like the quote goes, man, if you don't stand together, you fall together. Something to that. Basically, if they ain't working in unison, man, there ain't no way that they're gonna have any dominion. Okay, and that shows you. This is how we know that today that's being fulfilled as well by the EU. Esau's whole system. Esau's ruling the earth, but the elite bankers that are behind the rulership of this earth, the Rothschild Rockefellers, basically, due to their blessing of rulership by the sword, which is a curse in turn, a gift and a curse, because he that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword, basically rules by the sword, but it's by the sword of their own people. And the main two protagonist and antagonist. The main antagonist and protagonist is or you can put vice versa, is America and Russia, which are basically gonna be the downfall of Esau's own kingdom. All right. Verse 35, and Yahushua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Then saith he unto the disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the labourers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth labourers into his harvest. And that's where we're at, man. We're presently at where you know we're labouring, but there's still many more labourers to come in, man. You know, there's 144,000 of the elect, and this word is, the internet is doing a lot of legwork for us pushing out this truth. That's why we have to be pumping out 3 videos a week minimum for Great Millstone Standard, and really, you need to try and be doing 100 a day, man. I'm exaggerating greatly, but you really gotta be putting in that work, man. So the Lord can speed this thing up, man. We're heading into that time. This is the end. We're closing out the year of Triple D, man. Death, diligence, and destruction, and we're seeing that. And diligence has been shown over the course of this year, man. So with that, man, I pray you're edified. Shalom.